What's up? I'm What's up, my friends? Welcome to Chaos Live, my fun little live stream. Hang out with all you awesome people, have a good time, answer questions the best that I can, anyways. And, just enjoy your company, I guess, whatever, right? So, how is your Sunday going? What's up, Notification Platoon? We got Salty Gaming, we got Thomas, we got Mr. Park, we got Peter, we got Noah, we've got Nicholas, we've got Level Xena, Paramore, John McJunkin, Isaac, Wild Gaming, Ricardo, Larry, T-Dog's in the house, Tout Police, And then a couple other ones, but I'll just hit up a few of them because there's still quite a few of you guys. So it's a long list. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Welcome to Chaos Live. If this is your first time, welcome. This is my fun little live stream. Hang out, answer your guys' questions, and all that kind of fun stuff. So leave your questions in the chat. We typically talk about Army-related stuff, but I can do other stuff outside of Army as well, just not politics. I hate politics. So let's see. What's up, everybody? We got from Lovable Xena. A lot of people saying, what's up? Were you a Ranger? I was not. Afternoon Hope, all is well. It is well, Larry. Everything is well. What's up, T-Dog? Is paintball like the Army? Not even close. I train tomorrow for the Army. Well, good luck to you, Wild Gaming. What does an 88 mic do? Transportation stuff. I have a whole video on the day-to-day life of an 88 mic if you're really that curious as to what an 88 mic does, but it's a lot of transportation. Let's see. Let's get to this one. Daniel says, hi. Let's see. I'm in high school, and the PE teacher claimed to be force reconnaissance guy, and I asked him what MOS was that, and he totally avoided the question. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's fake. Force reconnaissance sounds weird if you worded it that way. It's kind of weird. I don't know if there's something more of a term for another branch. The recon type of thing for like Army-wise would be your Cav Scouts, your 19 Deltas. That would be the reconnaissance for the Army side. I don't know how they kind of do it for like the Marines. I don't think Navy has recon. I doubt Air Force has recon, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I know Marines do, and I know Army does. The other two branches, I'm going to doubt it, but I mean, maybe it's possible. I don't know. I just don't know. Video has 2 likes. Well, at that point, I guess it did. Now we're up to 10. We're doing great. We'll try to shoot for, I don't know, let's shoot for the stars today. Let's shoot for 100 likes. Let's see if we can't get 100 likes before the 1 hour is up and the live stream is over. Leaving for basic in January. Well, good luck, Ricardo. It's a good time to go. You don't have to worry about trying to take leave during Christmas or anything like that during basic. So that's good. Oh man, the heater's gonna kick on. I don't know if that's gonna sound kind of weird in the background. I should probably turn the heater off. That way it doesn't sound weird. I forgot to do that. I was gonna change the settings. It's cold here in Colorado-ish. I mean, it's a little bit chilly outside. We'll drop the temperature down inside the house to 65, and the heater will kick off in a little bit. I don't know if you guys can actually hear it because of the way the mic's in anyways, but we won't worry about it. Like the new intro? Well, thanks, John. Let's jump down a little bit. Finally got some cooler weather down here in Florida, a brisk 55 degrees. Yeah, it's sort of chilly-ish. Hey, Chaos, just got to Fort Bliss, Texas. I was wondering how likely is it for me to get leave for Christmas. Usually the unit is going to have block leave already during that time frame. So if you already have some vacation time saved up, most likely they're going to try to push for a lot of people to try to take leave during that time frame. So you probably should be okay, because a lot of people are going to take leave during that time frame. Not everybody, but a lot of individuals will do so. So I would think it should be pretty good chances. Not 100% sure though, but I would say your chances should be good. Have to go to sleep soon, have formation in the morning. Oh man, good luck to you on that one. What is Rule 303? You don't want to know. It's horrible. Hopefully there's no Rule 303 Christopher Chaos. Evie, what's happening? Chris, is this the new camera angle shot? It is. Actually, this is also... I rearranged my office. If you saw the vlog, I don't know if anybody saw the vlog, but I have a vlog channel, the DD214 vlogs. It's more of the personal life of Christopher Chaos if you're really interested in that. If not, I understand. But check out that. But on there, I kind of showed my new setup down here in the office. I kind of rearranged it a little bit so the desk faces a little bit differently. But also, I got a new webcam. This is actually a 4K webcam. I'm not streaming in 4K, but it does improve, I think, the quality of the image a little bit by having it on the 4K settings, but not actually streaming in 4K. So I think that should hopefully look good. Does NCOs outside of TRADOC act anything like drill sergeants? I'm an AIT, and drill sergeants are all I know. No, they do not. The purpose of drill sergeants and basic training AIT is to make you, kind of have to be under pressure and all that stuff like that. When you get to an actual unit, like your E5s are going to be pretty chill for the most part, unless you just get some guy who's an asshole. Your E6s maybe at times. Your E7s could get a little bit wishy-washy on some stuff, not as extreme as drill sergeants necessarily. Your first sergeants will be pretty strict, and your sergeant majors will be pretty strict, but it's still not really in the same way as a drill sergeant is. But it does kind of calm down a little bit, but it won't be the same kind of intensity as your drill sergeants are. Have you ever thought about doing a reaction series to Army movies for how accurate they are? I tried it once with In the Army Now. It's kind of one of my favorite Army movies just because I think it's hilarious. Maybe, some people may not feel that same way. But I did that one. That video didn't do so great. That was a while back when I tried that, though. And I have thought about doing it again, maybe at some point in time, more of like kind of reacting, to like, well, would this happen this way? Would this not happen this way? Sometimes it's hard to probably do a whole movie, but maybe do it with like scenes from different movies. We'll see how that kind of goes, but it might be something I might bring back at some point in time. Do you think you could ever do a video with a recruiter to answer all recruitment questions? Maybe. I don't really have anybody. I used to know some recruiters, not recruiters anymore, but I don't know. Maybe at some point in time, I wouldn't be against it. Maybe I'll, oh gosh, what's his name now? There's a really cool guy. I've seen a couple of his videos. He's National Guard and he's a recruiter. Maybe I'll do something with him. Team Schwartz or something like that. I think that's what it's called. That guy seems pretty cool. Maybe one day me and him will collab. We'll see. Could I leave to go home during MIT, or was it AIT, just for a few days? Not, the only time really you ever get to go on leave during AIT or basic training is if it happens to fall on Christmas time frame. So that's usually the only time it kind of ends up happening that way. Let me go backwards a little bit. I did see someone actually put forth the effort to put my name into the thing to where it highlights red. So various sources say that Christopher Chaos is considered a $2 million bonus deal. Wait, hold on. That I am considered a $2 million bonus deal for 2 years in the military reserve with the reserve time? I don't think I am. If you're just talking about in general, the $2 million bonus, that would be an extremely high bonus for the Army. So I'm going to say no. And if you're talking about me, definitely not. Let's go back a little bit. Okay. Chris, is that a very large glass of wine? It is not. It is cranberry juice. My throat feels a little bit funky. It's like I was trying to get sick over the weekend. It didn't take full force, luckily, but it did make my throat kind of scratchy a little bit. So I have this here so that hopefully I don't have a coughing fit while live streaming. But no, it's not wine. It is a cool wine glass from Jesse. But I like to use it for cranberry juice. So it's just cranberry juice. If you had to pick, if you had to pick, what would you pick, MP or 13 Fox? I can't even remember what a 13 Fox is. Probably MP though. Is it an artillery thing? But probably MP. MP would be a pretty good one. What's up, man? Long time no talk. Welcome, Oliver. Thanks for coming to hang out, man. I jumped pretty far back, huh? Okay. What's up, Chaos? Can't watch long tonight. Got to go to work at 2200. Plus, got to get some chow beforehand. Oh. Well, thanks for coming in, even if it's for a short amount of time. Tips and tricks to pass tape. I wouldn't say there's necessarily any tricks. You really you gotta, just try to not be overweight, I guess. I mean, there are some people that will try to hold their breath and try to do little things to try to, try to suck it in a little bit. But most people usually figure out that you're trying to cheat it, and they'll just, say, hey, stop trying to hold your breath. So I wouldn't say that there's really any good tips and tricks to fake it. It's just best just to try to do a lot of cardio to not be over You know, if you're someone who's really muscular, then a lot of times you have to get weighed and taped. But if you're a muscular person that's overweight, then when they come to weigh and tape, when they come to tape you and everything like that, usually really good. You don't have to worry about it. What's up, Chaos? Sorry I missed every live stream. That 6-hour difference in Europe was really painful. Thanks for coming to stop in for this one then, Holly Hand Grenade. I appreciate you. Pauly Shore was funny in the Army Now. I love that movie. The movie was great. It was a great movie. Let's say you can't join the Army. You are left with the Navy, Marines, Air Force, and Coast Guard. Which branch would you pick and why? And what would be your job in that branch? Thanks. So with this question, with any branch, I always feel like it depends on the job you want to do. I am not, like, just because I was in the Army, I don't feel like the Army is the best branch in the military. Sure, like if it comes to like a something where they're competing against other branches, sure, I'm going to root for the Army because I was Army. But it really comes down to the job you want to do. If I'm left with those, kind of things, because later in life I got more interested in the tech side of things, in techie stuff, I would probably go Air Force. But that's, again, because I'm into the tech stuff, and Air Force has a lot of that techie type of jobs that you could do. But I'd probably still do video production, mainly because, I like video. I like creating video stuff. They have that MOS in both the Army, Marines, Navy, and Army. Did I say Army? All of the branches actually have that, even Coast Guard, I think. Oh, I don't know if Coast Guard does, but they all have that video production kind of job. And so I would pick that, because I like doing video production. But the Air Force, I don't feel like they're as strict with their leadership, with like kind of how they, in the Army it's very strict. You stand at parade rest for NCOs, you stand at attention for officers. You still have some levels of, having to do that, but I don't feel like it's quite as strict as it is in the Army, or the Marines even too. The Marines I feel like is even more strict than the Army on that kind of stuff. So I would probably go Air Force because I feel like they're a lot less strict, a little bit more relaxed, and I would go that way. Happy late Veterans Day, Chris. Thanks for your service. Well, thanks, Seth. Thank you for that. Hey man, just went to my unit this week and got something sorted out. Might go for pre-BCT drill in January. Any tips, and what do I wear? You have a pre-basic training? I've never heard of that. I don't know how that actually works, if you have some kind of pre-basic training. But just in general, I guess, if you're trying to go to basic training, don't wear anything fancy. I would just keep it. Usually they would have a little bit of a dress code. They a lot of times want you to tuck in a shirt, so make sure you have a shirt that looks okay tucked in, right? Don't show up with something offensive on the t-shirt, or anything like that. Maybe wear a Chaos shirt. That'd probably be okay. I'd be all right with that. No, some people, wear slacks and a polo and then show up that way. Some people just do a t-shirts and jeans, but they usually want you to tuck in your shirt. So something along those lines. Nothing too crazy and wild, I would say. Drink rum, it's better. Since Riley is deploying in February, how likely is it that I'll get Christmas leave? It all just comes down to if your unit is one of those people that are deploying. The whole entire post isn't going to deploy. There's select units that would deploy and everything. If they're deploying in February, they're probably going to want to maximize, family time. So they're going to want to make sure that even those who are deploying get time to spend with their families for the holidays and everything like that before the deployment, and they're gone for 6 months or a year, whatever the deployment ends up being. So that's still pretty high that people are still going to get a chance to go on leave prior to. That way it keeps the morale up, and people are, not so depressed, I guess, when they take off on a deployment. Good weekend for Army football, bad weekend for Navy football. Yeah, it's tough. Good weekend, though, for Raiders. Even though, like I said, I've said it before, I root for the Raiders. I don't really follow it. Like, I didn't watch this game. I haven't watched a game in a while now. But I did see the Raiders did win, so that's promising. So that's pretty good. Shipping to Benning in February. Need a workout plan. I don't really have anything off the top of my head, but I'd mainly say my usual recommendation for getting prepared for the Army is a lot of cardio. If you can build up your cardio really good, doing a lot of running, road marching, all that kind of stuff, maybe cycling or rowing machines or whatever, it really helps your endurance for being able to do push-ups and everything. Add that in, like don't leave that out. Still do push-ups and everything. Still maybe do some weight training, especially now with ACFT coming into play. Try to practice some of those workouts that are involved with ACFT, but make cardio a big piece of that, because if your cardio is good, then it makes it easier, if you have the strength to be able to do the push-ups, to not get exhausted trying to do the push-ups or trying to do, the deadlifts or trying to do the medicine ball throw or whatever the event is, or just doing, being in the Army in general, doing the morning workouts or during some kind of mission or some kind of training or whatever. If you have your cardio on point, it really helps out. So I always encourage lots of cardio. What MOS travels the most? I don't know. I don't know what MOS would travel the most. Maybe there's some public affairs individuals. They could probably travel quite a bit. What is that? There's an MOS for or mortuary affairs. They might. I don't know for sure though. And then you're going to have special forces that deploy a lot. If you want that kind of traveling, special forces deploy a lot. How long did I serve? A little over 10 years. You have your unit patch in your dress uniform, and why don't you see them on dress uniforms anymore? So yes, the original version of the dress uniform I had did have your unit patch as well as your combat patch. And then when they moved over to the dress blues, being the new Army Combat Service uniform, or not the Combat Service uniform, but the Army dress uniform, what do they call it, the acronym? I forget, it doesn't matter. But when they switched over to the blues becoming the new dress uniform rather than the greens that they had before, they don't have the unit patches on anymore. They do have a little logo usually on the pocket for your combat patch kind of a thing for the unit you deployed with. But yeah, I don't why they got rid of that. I'm not too sure. I kind of liked having the unit patch still on the dress uniform too. Chris, I read where the Army had lots of minesweepers prior to the war in Iraq, but only sent over or used just a handful. Why not use them all to save more lives and limbs? I couldn't tell you for sure. I mean, a lot of the stuff you're doing is on just actually public roads. So certain types of, you can't use the mine plow. You can use minesweepers, but a lot of times they're kind of, the IEDs that they would encounter would be off of the side of the road. So unless you were driving on the side of the road, you might not detect it. If you're just driving in the middle of the road, you probably detect something, maybe it was buried in the ground or something, but most of the roads you're traveling on were just paved roads, your regular highways, your regular roads, and the IEDs would be hidden in trash, hidden in dead animals sometimes, and just all sorts of things, but they're usually off on the side of the road. So I guess it would make it kind of hard to utilize those minesweepers a lot of times for basic convoy operations. Are you scared of heights? I guess sort of. I mean, I'm not a fan of heights, but I don't mind looking at a cool view. Like if you're up in a building, you're looking out a window, sometimes on a balcony. I mean, I might get a little bit of butterflies in my stomach. That's fairly normal for a lot of people. But I definitely would not want to go skydiving. I probably wouldn't want to go bungee jumping. It's kind of 50-50 on whether or not I'm scared of heights or not, I guess. What are some reasons people get kicked out of the military or leave the military when they are 13 years in instead of finishing 20 years and retiring? Why not finish 20 years? Is the 7 years bad? It'd be fairly hard for you to get out after 13. There's a point in your Army career where you have to re-enlist for indefinite, basically, meaning you can't get out unless you're going to retire. I think currently the requirement is 12. So that means if you serve 12 years and you want to go past that and you re-enlist, you're going to have to re-enlist for indefinite status, meaning now you're going to have to stay in until you can retire. So that would be kind of tough. Most people that get out usually 10 years or less or somewhere around there. The only other options someone could probably get out after 13 years would be probably if you were medically, something was wrong, you got injured or whatever, then possibly you could get out after 13 years or something like that. But for the most part, you can't just normally stay in for 13 and then kind of get out unless you're medically getting kicked out. How do you get a belt for dress blues? It's just your regular belt. It's a black belt. It's got a gold buckle. It usually gets issued with you. Or if you lose it or whatever, you'd go to clothing and sales and get a new one. What time do you wake up in the U.S. Army and the time you sleep? So basic training in AIT, it's really a set kind of schedule. Basic training, you could be getting up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. It just kind of varies based on the installation, the basic training, what's going on, all sorts of things like that. But that one's a set time of getting up. And then usually lights out around 9 or 10, sometimes later than that, especially like if some kind of mission is going on or some kind of training is going on where you're out in the field or you're doing something specific for AIT or basic training, then it might be a little bit later. So that one kind of varies. Otherwise, outside of that, when you're not in your initial training, basic training, AIT, you're just at a unit, well, then it's kind of up to you. Usually the most typical first formation time is 6:30. So as far as what time you're going to get up, depends on you. Depends on how far away you are from where formation's at, how long it's going to take you to get ready, all that kind of stuff. But you have to be at formation by 6:30, actually prior to 6:30, because if you show up right at 6:30, that's horrible. It's in the Army, you have to be 10, 20 minutes early usually. So you have to kind of time it appropriately based on where you're at. So that depends on you as far as what time you get up. Going to bed is really on you as well. Usually if you're not in the field or doing some kind of specific training or whatever, you're done with work 4:35, 5:30, around there sometimes. Also, as long as you're not in an MOS or a job that has like shift work or something, but that's the most common one. And then you kind of have your free time in the evenings, and it's up to you whenever you want to go to bed to go to sleep and get some rest before you have to get up the next day to go to PT formation and start all that again. What if a sergeant major and a second lieutenant get into a major disagreement? Usually a second lieutenant is going to know better than to be getting into some kind of disagreement with a sergeant major. Even though technically that second lieutenant outranks that sergeant major has a crap ton more experience than that young lieutenant does. So a lieutenant usually is smart enough to know better than to go and try to get into some kind of argument with a sergeant major, because that sergeant major is probably pretty good friends with that second lieutenant superior, and if that sergeant major goes and says, hey, Lieutenant so-and-so was being a douchebag the other day to me and arguing about this, that's not going to look very good on that second lieutenant, because even though, like I said, even though the lieutenant outranks the sergeant major, they're not going to do that. Usually they know better than to do so. You shouldn't pick a branch or job for a bonus. I agree. I mean, it's good to have the incentive of having a bonus, and the bonuses are cool, but you shouldn't go and pick that job or that branch because there's a bonus. So yeah, I would say you should pick a branch and the job that you want to do, something you think you'll enjoy and everything like that. And if it happens to have a bonus, cool, but don't go picking the job just because there was a bonus. Are they still doing a maximum 7 years active, 1 reserve, either active or inactive? No. So you have an 8-year commitment. And whether or not you do all 8 years on active, all 8 years on reserve, or inactive reserve, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter. You could do a 4-year contract, get out, and then do another 4 years on inactive reserve, where they might call you up to do a little class for 30 minutes or something like that, or they may just have you call in to make sure you're still alive. So if some war broke out, they can call you back up, all those kind of things. Or you could just stay in for 8 years and then get out or whatever, and then not have any requirement when you get out. So yeah, they still have that 8-year requirement, whether it's on inactive reserve or reserves or active duty, whatever. Can you get option 4 on your enlistment contract if you need a medical waiver? I don't know. I'm not too sure about how waivers work completely. Did you get a bonus for 11 X-ray for ASVAB score 42? How about, oh yeah, someone's asking about that. Usually the bonuses, if you have a really low ASVAB score, even though you qualified for that MOS, sometimes you don't get bonuses available to you. That's another key thing to remember. Usually you have to have a minimum GT score, like of 100 or something like that, or I don't remember what specifically, but there's a specific area, even though you make the requirements for that MOS, if your scores aren't high enough in a certain area, you may not meet the requirements for a bonus. So you have to keep that in mind as well. Does the Army expect high school dropouts? Do they accept? You have to either have a high school diploma or a GED. One of those two. to be able to join the Army. Technically, they can take people that don't have either one, but there's a certain quota of how many people they're allowed to take that don't have a high school diploma or a GED, which is a really small percentage, and you're really going to be limited on the MOSs that you probably qualify for. So it's a really low percentage of quota of what they're allowed to take per year for that. But otherwise, high school diploma, GED. But the other thing you have to factor in is that if you have a GED instead of a high school diploma, the requirements for the ASVAB are higher. So you have a higher ASVAB requirement that you have to meet for MOSs and for joining the Army and everything compared to if you had a high school diploma. Unless you have a GED but also have some college education. If you have GED and college education, then it evens out and you're back to the normal standards with having just a high school diploma. Does the Army allocate chapel services during basic? Yes. Usually on Sundays, they give you an opportunity to go to church. They'll usually, round up those individuals. They'll probably put out something in the morning or the night before or whatever, saying that they're going to have chapel services at this time. And then they'll still be, you're still waking up every morning the same time probably. And then they go and they gather up those people. If you're Christian, if you're Catholic, if you're whatever, right? And they kind of separate those individuals to go to the appropriate churches or the appropriate location for appropriate services. And so you go and do that. Everybody else who doesn't want to go to church usually gets stuck cleaning. So like for me, for example, I'm not really a religious person. I'm not against religion or anything by any means, but I don't really have a religion that I practice or anything like that. I'm kind of neutral, I guess you could say. So for the first couple of weekends, I think I didn't go anywhere. So, I didn't go to church, so I was stuck on cleaning details. So I was like, this sucks. I'm gonna maybe try going to one. So I just followed some other guys that I knew in basic training. I think I went to Christian services or something like that. I don't remember for sure, but they had a band and everything like that. They were singing songs and everything, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. So it kind of lifted my spirits a little bit, and it was kind of nice actually kind of getting away from the drill sergeants and kind of just enjoying something for a little bit while at church services. That was kind of a nice thing. But yeah, you will have an opportunity to go to worship services on Sundays as long as you're not in the field or anything like that. I'm leaving in 2 months. Well, good luck to you, Manny. Hopefully all goes well. What is the best branch? Depends. Depends on the job you want to do. I don't think there's any branch is the best. It depends on the job you want to do. Chris, are soldiers who are wounded in war, but not by the enemy, but by an accident like slipping and falling, able to still be awarded the Purple Heart? No. The Purple Heart specifically is for being wounded in action. So if you just simply were in a combat zone and slipped and fell, that's not under the requirements for a Purple Heart. You have to have been wounded in a combat situation. So either direct combat, you got a firefight with the enemy, a mortar landed nearby and you got some shrapnel, an explosion like from an IED, those kind of things. Actual direct combat wound is the only way you can get a Purple Heart. Just simply slipping and falling, or you were doing your job and something happened, like maybe the truck blew up from an accident. If it wasn't attacked by the enemy, then doesn't equal a Purple Heart award. Is there Baptist church on base? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what all ones they have. A lot of times they have some dedicated chapels on post for different religions, and then for a little bit smaller kind of religions that maybe there's not as many people practicing, they usually will use something like a conference room somewheres, or they'll set something up where maybe it'll be a small thing somewheres where you can do something, or you just have to go off base for something like that. So it may vary, but not in basic training. Like in basic training, if they don't have that available, you're not going to go off base for that. They might give a chaplain to kind of talk to you in like a little classroom or something, maybe possibly, but otherwise you're just kind of out of luck if you're in basic training with it. Have you been deployed to Korea, and if so, how was it? I wasn't deployed to Korea, but I was stationed in Korea. So also like a key thing for those of you that don't know, there's a difference between a deployment and being stationed there. Deployment means that, like, say, if I was stationed on Fort Carson and my entire unit was going to Korea for 6 months, a year, whatever, to do a mission, to do training or whatever, and then come back to Fort Carson, that is a deployment. That can be a combat deployment or a non-combat deployment. If it's to Korea, it's a non-combat deployment. My unit, when they went to Iraq, that was a combat deployment. Now, if I am being sent to Korea to go and join up with a unit that's established in Korea that stays there, that is simply a PCS, being moved to that one. I was actually stationed in Korea for 2 years. I liked it. It was fun. I was stationed at the Joint Security Area, which is Camp Boniface, which is right on the South Korean, North Korean border. You had a lot more restrictions there, but the cohesion of everybody was really good and really nice. So that was pretty cool. And then you got to, on the weekends sometimes go down south and kind of check out some of the cool stuff. And Korea was fun, especially get out and check out all the sights that there is to see. Thoughts on Space Force? I don't know. I haven't really still seen a whole lot on Space Force, at least, or I haven't just looked into it. But I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about them just yet. Cav Scout or Infantry? I guess it depends on what you want to do. What is the best branch for 31 Bravo? What is that? MP? No. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't have experience with the Army, so I can't tell you if any other branch is better. You have to do kind of research and talk to recruiters maybe. I don't know. Of course, each recruiter is going to probably tell you one thing is better than, for their branch compared to somebody else's, though. Favorite duty station and why? Fort Carson. I mentioned that in my video about actual duty stations and everything, and mainly because of the location. I like Colorado Springs. That's why I stayed here. I still live in Colorado Springs, and that's mainly why. Are you going to do the Bataan March again? I am. I'm planning on doing so. I've been really slacking on my training, though. I need to get back into that, but I, at this point, still plan to do so. I'm trying to probably wait to purchase my tickets until the end of December. That's when the tickets, because then after December is when the tickets go up a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see if I end up purchasing then or waiting a little bit longer. Like I said, I've been really slacking on the training. I haven't been doing very much training like I wanted to do. But the plan is to do the Bataan again in March. So I plan on doing that. For my basic, they had a lot of services, but Baptist went to Protestant. Yeah. Combat zones and simple fell and not wounded in action. Is that like MASH episode where Frank Burns got the Purple Heart for something like that because of something that happened in the shower? Yeah, that's just a TV show. It doesn't really happen. What's my favorite country? The United States, I guess. But if you're not counting the United States, I've only been to a few countries. I've only been to Korea, Iraq, Kuwait, Germany, and then airports in Amsterdam, Ireland, Iceland, and Japan. So I didn't really get to experience those countries really well. But of the countries I've actually been to, Korea was fun because I'm a techie kind of person. They got a lot of cool gadgets sometimes, a lot of cool stuff for that. Hey, have you gotten to a combat zone? I did. I went twice. I went to Iraq twice during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Do you know when the pinks and greens will be issued? It's probably going to be a while because they're not going to be required until like 2028 or something like that. So I don't know when they're going to start actually issuing them. Difference between 11 Bravo and 11 X-Ray? Well, 11 X-Ray is only a temporary MOS. So that is only a temporary assignment while you're going through training. And then they either assign you to 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie. So an 11 X-Ray is not actually an MOS, it's just a temporary one. It's just a infantryman candidate. And then in OSIT, they decide if you're going to be a Bravo or a Charlie. Are you playing Call of Duty? I do. If you missed the stream yesterday, I did a live stream yesterday. You can watch the replay if you want. But for a while, maybe forever, I don't know, forever or temporarily, I'm going to try out Saturdays doing live streams with gaming. And I'm probably going to stick to Call of Duty for a while, I would imagine. So if you want to check that out, make sure you do so. If you want more gaming than just once a week, then check out my gaming channel, Chaos Plays Games. If you go to this main channel, and on the right-hand side, there's my other channels, and that's one of them. Then you can click on that, and you can subscribe to that. I'm going to probably do the first live stream on Tuesday, probably. Tuesday, I'll probably do that. I'll probably do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so it'll be 3 days straight of live streaming if you want to see me play Call of Duty some more on that channel. That is the place to go. Are you posting an MOS Monday episode this week? I am not. No, I don't have one put together yet. I need to work on what's going to be the next one. I've got ideas for some Fridays and Wednesday videos, but I haven't made the decision for a thanks for the sub. But I haven't made the decision on an MOS Monday episode for soon. But it's not dead. It's just I haven't planned one for a little while. But there will still be one here soon at some point in time. Chris, are you a member of the American Legion? I am not. I don't usually participate in a lot of that, like VFW or American Legion or any of that stuff. Really, they're not bad. I just too busy. I'm doing this, the channel, family when I have a chance to, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't partake in that stuff. Not that I'm against it, just don't have time. What kind of state do they take? What kind of state do they take me and my friend for the U.S. Army? What kind of state? I don't know what kind of state, but they have the buddy program where if you go to a recruiter's office and you have you and a friend who want to join in the same MOS, same time, you guys go to basic training AIT together, and then your first duty station will be guaranteed you guys will go together. And then, was it Byrar Maynard? Thanks for the sub. Is that the same one from earlier? I don't know. Did you unsubscribe and resubscribe? They usually send you to your first duty station together, and then was it Nun? It's an interesting name. Thanks for the sub. Back to what I was saying. They usually send you your first duty station together. After that, it's not guaranteed anymore, really. I don't think they guarantee unless you guys re-enlist to try to stay together. But if one person comes up on orders outside of re-enlistment window and they're going to get sent somewhere else and then you're stuck there, then there's nothing you can do about that. But with the buddy program, you guys can go to AIT, basic training together. If you're going to the same MOS, go to the first duty station together. Pretty cool thing. I think it's pretty awesome, especially if you have a close friend that you want to do. Chris, when you were in basic training, did I get sick? I did not. I never had any issue with that. There's some people that do. If you get sick, you can go to sick call. You go see the medics to give you some medicine or whatever. Nunwise, thanks for subscribing and joining the KS Army. So you can still do that. I don't think I remember I got sick. I think I was pretty good. I rarely get sick anyways. Like this time right now, I feel like a little bit, scratchy on the throat. I think this is the only time I've gotten sick this year. I can't remember any other time that I remember anyways that I got sick this year. So that's pretty common for me where I don't get sick very often. Well, no, I think I got sick at the beginning of the year. I don't know. But yes. What's going on? You guys all of a sudden a bunch of people just realized they want to subscribe to the channel? Well, that's cool. That's awesome and all. Joseph1014. Thanks for joining the Chaos Army. What happened? What was your now in the Army? I'm not sure what that kind of wording seems a little off. I'm not sure what that was. What happens when you go to the board? So it's usually asking a lot of questions. So it depends on what board you're going to. There's the Soldier of the Month board. There's the promotion board. There's a couple other other boards. There's the Audie Murphy board. A couple of other ones, but mainly it's usually quizzing you on knowledge. So it depends on what type of board it is to determine what knowledge they're going for. Like if it's a promotion board, it's a lot of leadership related, type of things. Knowing the NCO creed, knowing what, how to handle situations when you're leading soldiers, AR reference numbers and all that stuff like that. Soldier of the Month board still sometimes includes some of that stuff, but then they're also maybe adding in some history, which I think they added in history during the promotion boards too. But that one's just kind of seeing general knowledge. So it depends on what board you're going to. But usually just being really drilled and quizzed on a lot of different kind of like knowledge on the Army and all that kind of fun stuff. Got a super chat. Where's the lights at? Lights aren't flashing yet. There we go. There's the lights. I don't know if you can see it. No, I think the lights are too bright to read. You can't see my lights flash. But Paul with the super chat. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you for the donation. Do you know anything about the Army Research Lab? I don't think I've ever heard of that. Army Research Lab. Let's look that up real quick. Army Research Lab? Oops, spelled that all wrong. Army Research Lab. I don't think I know anything about it though. Army Research promotes, no. I can't say I do. I would probably, the information that I would be looking up is going to be the same information you would find by doing a basic Google search. Looks like they do some kind of researching stuff. Cool. I mean, that sounds cool. I have never known anybody that has done this, nor did I even know about this until you asked me about this. So I'm really sorry that I can't help you with some good inside knowledge, because I didn't know about this until now. So yeah, I mean, probably some stuff on Google, but I don't have any good insight to be able to help you out. But thank you still for the donation, Paul. You're awesome. I appreciate that. Sorry I couldn't give you a better answer for your donation, but I still appreciate the donation. You're awesome. Where's Skechers? Did he go AWOL again? That's right. I don't think I've seen Skechers Kid Gaming. I don't remember when the last time I saw him in one of the live streams was. I'm not 100% sure. Have a good night, Chris. This guy needs to hit the rack. Well, thanks for hanging out, Seth. Any advice for me heading to boot camp in a few weeks, or in a few? Make sure your cardio's good. Stay positive. I mean, it's gonna suck. Just go in there knowing it's gonna suck. Try your best. Try not to let them get to you too bad, and know that that experience is not what it's like in the regular Army, right? So don't go into basic training and it gets rough and it's exhausting and you're stressed and everything like that, and then all of a sudden you're now saying, oh, maybe the Army wasn't for me, I made a mistake or whatever. Don't judge your Army experience based on being in basic training at AIT. It is completely different when you're outside of basic training at AIT compared to being in a training environment. So stay positive, fight through it, know that it's going to suck, but it's going to get much, much better once you're outside of training environment and actually doing your job and everything like that. Only questions specific to the Army. As far as military-wise, I really can't help you if it's something outside of the military. If it's something outside of that, like, I don't know, my favorite video game or something, I don't know, that's fine. I don't do politics, but my more expertise is mostly Army stuff. I may know some stuff from other branches, but very little, just from working with a few people here and there. So you could, but I can't. Jesse is trying to FaceTime me. Do I answer it? We'll answer it real quick. So I'm live streaming right now. My little kid is trying to video chat me while I'm trying to live stream.
Oh, Daddy's live streaming, babe. That's on live. Can you say we'll call you back later?
No.
I'm being bad, Daddy.
You're being bad? Oh man. Oh guys. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We'll call you back later and tell you about her being bad.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, love you, bye.
I love you.
Love you, Daddy.
Love you, baby. Bye. Crazy. Gotta answer it though. You know, why not? Alright. Can certain surgery scans stop you from making it through MEPS? I don't know. I don't know a lot of medical stuff. Sometimes, medical stuff can affect that. I'm here now. Thanks, Steve Edwards. You're late, so you're gonna have to knock out some push-ups. No, I'm just kidding. We're only got probably about a little over 10 minutes left of the live stream. Me and my friend are going to do drumline for Constitution in the U.S. Army because me and my friend are going to do 4 years in the Army. Well, that's awesome. Good luck to you guys. Hopefully everything works out quite well. Get copies of your medical records when you're enlisted. Enlistment is up. If you have a claim, your records tend to disappear. Sometimes that, I guess, can happen, but usually when you go to get out, you can request a copy of your medical records from the medical facility that's at that installation that you're at. But yeah, usually they want you to do that when you're doing that. What are you wearing? It's a Chaos shirt. What do you mean? What do you mean? What am I wearing? I mean, it's a little bit wrinkly. I kind of grabbed it out of the hamper because I wanted to wear a Chaos shirt for the stream. But hey, it's how it goes around here. You ever work with any tankers? Yeah, when I was in Kansas. Kansas worked with 19 kilos, or deltas. No, kilos. 19 kilos all the time. There's some good dudes. What is it? Your child FaceTimed you probably just. They wanted to say hi to all of your viewers. Probably. You should have a minute or two of those each video. Yeah. Where I FaceTime my family. That'd be funny. Have you seen the videos of Life as a Special Operation? I have seen some of them. Got a super chat. Holly Hand Grenade with a $1 donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You were awesome. You rock. And I always appreciate you coming and stopping by, even if it feels like it's been a while since I've seen you in the live streams. But I'm glad you're here now. Thanks for the donation. Thanks for being here, though, most importantly. Just a question, will you get yelled at if you are overweight in the Army? You're probably going to have to do extra stuff. You know, if you're overweight in the Army, you're going to have to probably do PT twice a day. And it depends on a lot of other factors, too. That can also stop you from getting promoted. That can stop you from re-enlisting. There's a lot of things that hurts you on if you are overweight in the Army. Gotta head out. Well, thanks for hanging out, Justin. Oh, she's cute. She's a very adorable Sabrina. Ammo Supply is badass. They're pretty good dudes. I don't know a lot of people that did Ammo Supply. Do you still have to have your wisdom teeth or molars removed during basic training? Do you have to have it? I don't know if it's a requirement. I don't know. I mean, you could, like, if they're bothering you, there's some people that can grow out their wisdom teeth and then not bother them and not interfere with anything. So I don't think it's a requirement to have it removed in basic training. What kind of pants am I wearing? I'm just, if they're called Black Label or something, or Black Rebel Society, I forget what they're called. Something like that. They're jeans. I'm gonna go check out some of your other channels. I might be back soon. Well, awesome, Paul. I have Chaos Plays Games that I use still, that's being revitalized. I have DD214 Vlogs for my vlogs. I have a channel that I really don't use anymore, but I have like some of my more creative videos that I was doing on for a while called Mayhem Factory. And that has like some of my documentaries and stuff on there. I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's it, I think. You're one of my favorite YouTubers? Well, thank you, Wild Gaming. You are one of my favorite people in the chat for saying that. I appreciate it. Green Berets versus SEALs. I'm gonna say Special Forces. Mainly because I'm Army anyways. But, I mean, not to say SEALs suck. That's pretty hardcore training they go through. So, but I'm going to go with Special Forces. If you're just going to do 4 years and get out to use the GI Bill, doesn't matter what branch you join. I want to finish school debt-free. I want to get the GI Bill, and the only way is by serving 3 years. Yeah, it doesn't matter what branch you go to. The GI Bill is available for both. I don't know. I don't remember what the requirement is. At 3 years, at least 3 years. 3-year contracts are very difficult to get. Usually, 4 years is usually the standard. There's only a few circumstances where they'll approve a 3-year contract, but usually those are a little difficult to get. The really, really hard ones are the 2.5-ish year ones, but the most common ones are usually 4 years. It's usually hard to get anything less than 4. What's up with you guys asking what I'm wearing? What kind of socks am I wearing? I don't know. They're Dickies socks. Can you play video games in the U.S. Army? You can. I did a whole video on that, actually. I mean, if you just want to do it for fun and play on the side, then yeah, of course, you can do that. If you want to play video games for the Army, I have a video on that, how the Army actually has a kind of like a gaming unit, essentially is what it is. And there's only a very, very few slots for it. It's essentially a recruiting tool, and it's not something you can permanently do. It's just like a temporary assignment of you have to join the Army. You can't join the Army for that, but you have to already be in the Army, and then hopefully maybe try to land one of those slots and play video games and tour around the United States playing video games to try to talk to people who want to join the Army and kind of help recruiters enlist people. And it's like a 3-year, 2-year, something like that deal, and then you have to go back to doing your Army job. But they do have that. So there's a video on that I did it on recently, a few weeks back, I think it was. Will there be more Chaos items to purchase around the Christmas holidays? I don't know. I thought about doing a ugly sweater, but I don't know. I might try that out. Maybe have something by December to have it ready, because I did see that Teespring, that does my t-shirts, does have that option for some sweaters, and maybe I thought it might be cool to do a ugly sweater, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll do that or not. I don't know if there'll be any new designs or anything. I mean, as it is right now, I don't think I sell very many t-shirts. I actually haven't looked in a while. Now that I think about it, I haven't even looked to see if I've sold any shirts recently. To actually look. I keep on forgetting all about that. But usually, t-shirts don't sell all that well. Anyways. No, right now apparently the site's down anyways. Well, it's down as far as my analytics, so I don't know if I've sold any t-shirts recently. So I guess you can't see. So I don't know. Just subscribe to DD214 or DD14, which should be 214 vlogs, but yes. Awesome, Wild Gaming, thank you. For an easier ride, join Air Force. My daughter did. I'm Army. It depends, yeah. I would say probably Air Force is possibly easier. They're not quite as strict on requirements of a lot of things like the Army and the Marines are. But, I mean, it still kind of goes back to like someone else was saying earlier, don't join a specific branch or whatever just to just for like the bonus or something like that. So I wouldn't really necessarily recommend joining a specific branch because you feel like it's gonna be easier. That could still kind of hurt you in the end as well. So pick the branch that you feel like is gonna give you the best experience with the job you want to do. Whether that is permanently for 20 plus years to retire or short term just to get the experience and get out and move on to something else, that's up to you. But definitely pick the branch based on the one that's going to provide the best training for the job you want to do, I feel like. You can't get GI Bill and student loan repayment at the same time. Yeah, it's usually one or the other. Usually, like if you already went to school and you want them to pay off your debt, then you can do that. But that takes away your GI benefits. So yeah, there's kind of like crazy stuff with that. How do you get past the MEPS doctors? I'm going tomorrow. I heard they are intimidating. Just go through it. As long as you don't have any kind of crazy injuries, anything wrong with you or anything like that, you'd be okay. But there's no way to really game the system, and you don't want to do that anyways, because if it comes up that you had some kind of fraudulent enlistment because you lied about some kind of medical thing that should prevent you from being able to be in the Army in the first place, then that's really bad on you. So just go in there, do whatever they have you doing. They have you probably do some stretching and some different things, and go from there. Have you done any giveaways on your channel? I did a while back. Giveaways didn't do very well. Actually, that's why I still have that ammo can back there that I've got. Is I originally had 2 ammo cans, and I was doing a thing where I did a giveaway for 1 ammo can that had some random Army kind of memorabilia and different things inside of it, and like an Army t-shirt and stuff in there. And I think like when I did the giveaway, I think I only ended up with like 3 or 4 people participating in the giveaway. So I ended up giving it away to one of those 3 or 4 people, I think it was. And then I was going to do another one. I was like really kind of hesitant to try it again, but I tried again with that ammo can. And that time, I think I again only had 2 or 3 people. So giveaways don't seem to do very well on this channel. I don't think people give a crap about that. That's not to say that I won't try again at another time, but I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but for the most part, usually trying to get didn't seem like when I tried doing that, very many people were interested in participating with kind of giveaways and stuff. Who is in that picture behind you? The big one right back there is my basic training picture. So it's got everybody that I was in basic training with, and that's what that one is. After getting out of the military, are you in incentive reserve, correct? Or inactive reserve? Yeah, correct. Not reserves, where you still do drills. Yes, you're in inactive reserves. And then, why is Christopher Chaos always dodging my questions? They are good questions. My question to you, Park, is why the hell do you spam the hell out of these things? I'm sorry, man. I try to get around to a lot of people, but you are one of the people that usually stands out to me as being really super needy. It gets a little annoying, man, so try to chill out a little bit because you spam the hell out of your questions. You are like close to sometimes getting banned, bro. And I don't want that. I don't want you to get banned. Just be like everybody else. Post your question. I jump around a little bit. If I miss it, hit me up on Instagram. It's not that hard. Hit me up on Instagram. Shoot me a question. I'm pretty good at answering then. Or come back to the video later and post a comment in there. It's not hard. But don't be needy. Comes off a little bit needy, man. Can I have the ammo can, please? Sure, I'll hand it to you right now. I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll do a giveaway maybe at some point in time again. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll try something really small and see how it goes. And if that goes really well, then maybe we'll up the stakes and do some better giveaways. So I haven't tried. I think when I did the giveaway for the ammo can before, I think I only had 10,000 subscribers. So I think it was like around that time frame. So maybe we'll give it a shot with another giveaway, something small, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll try that out. All right, we'll give it a shot soon. Chris telling someone going to MEPS that the doctor will have them doing some stretches is a little worrisome. Yeah, they're gonna make sure that you they're gonna make sure that you're not injured in any way, so that way when they send you to basic training, they're not you're not gonna get injured or you're not gonna have a hard time because of some kind of injury. So I remember they have you like duck walk, they have you touch your toes, they have you do some other stretching things, they have you I think they have you do like maybe a few push-ups or something like that. And a few other things. I forget what all they have you do, but they have you do some various things to make sure that you're not going into basic training injured or in some way all jacked up. At man, can flat feet disqualify you from joining? I'm not 100% sure of that. I remember I always heard that, but I've actually known some people that said they had flat feet and still got in. So I think I'm no doctor, so I can't give you a 100% good answer. But I think maybe it depends on the severity of it and maybe how it affects you or whatever. But I'm not 100% sure. I remember I always heard that. But yeah, just go to MEPS, give it a shot. If they disqualify you, then at least you tried, right? Chris, do you still have your boots from the Army? I do. Actually, I think I still have a couple of pair, probably like in a box somewheres. I don't really wear them, but I have some. Keep them for a rainy day. I don't know. Was your drill sergeant after basic cool with you? There was one that was pretty cool, yeah. The other two were still kind of the same for the most part, maybe a little bit more relaxed. But there was one, I don't remember their names very well. I think one was named Drill Sergeant Harris, Drill Sergeant Alexander, and I can't remember the cool guy's name, sadly. I don't remember what the cool guy's name was, but he was still a pretty cool dude afterwards, I remember. And that was kind of nice. So, not like we're buddies, but yeah. Final question of the day for me. All right, Park. Let's see what you got. Which branch is the hardest to join, Air Force or Coast Guard? Which would you join? And I heard people who wanted to join the Air Force join Navy and Coast Guard. Which one is the hardest to join? I think the Air Force has the higher ASVAB scores, I believe. So as far as that aspect, I think the Air Force probably does. And then I don't know about people who want to join the Air Force but then join the Navy or Coast Guard instead. So I don't know about that part. But which one I would join? I said earlier before, probably maybe Air Force, maybe, because I'm more of a techie kind of person now than I used to be. So yeah. I think Air Force is a little bit harder, though. Zarel is watching. She says, that's my daddy. Hi, Daddy. Hi, Zarel, if you're still watching. I didn't do any push-ups at MEPS. Yeah, it varies. I know I've heard some people say that they did. Some people say they didn't. I think that just because there's different doctors, I don't know if there's... I mean, you would think there's probably a set standard, but from the stories I've seen from some people of what they had to do at MEPS, it varies slightly here and there with some things they had to do. But I remember some people telling me they had to do like 5 push-ups or something like that. Just it was only like a few, and it was just to make sure that their arms didn't like give way while trying to do a push-up or something. But then I've also heard some people say they didn't do any. So yeah, I think it just depends on the doctors. Even though I would think it should be a set standard of what they do all across the board. Do you think Air Force is a more comfortable branch? Possibly. Do you keep your uniforms? You do. For the most part. There's a couple uniforms you don't keep, but for the most part, the uniforms you keep. I was about to say that the Air Force is better quality of life and it is an easy branch. Possibly. Yeah. I mean, so you got, it looks like an Air Force logo in your avatar, but yeah, it seems like it anyways. It probably may depend on the job. There's probably still some hardcore jobs in the Air Force, possibly. What did you keep after you left the Army? I have a lot of my uniforms. Most of the equipment you have to return anyways. I don't know. That kind of stuff. We're looking at time. All right, we're at the hour. I'll answer maybe a couple of questions, and we'll do an old question, and then we'll probably end this live stream here in a little bit. Why are Air Force recruiters dicks? I don't know. I've never talked to any Air Force recruiters. People like JT Suits wanted to join the Air Force, but the Air Force recruiter joined the Navy or Coast Guard. I've never talked to any, so I don't really know. I talked to one time when I was in high school or something like that, and never again. So I can't really say for sure that they are or they aren't. All right, we're gonna go backwards, and we'll see what we've got for an older question that maybe I missed, and then we'll do maybe one or two more newer ones, and then that'll probably end the live stream. Scrolling back. This is a funny one. I'll reference this one, maybe another older one too, but can you do a video on the danger of juicy girls in Korea? So for those of you who don't know what a juicy girl is, essentially they have like clubs or strip clubs. Well, not really strip clubs, really. I guess kind of. I don't know. But they have like clubs and everything like that in Korea where girls will basically try to talk to you, try to make it think that they're interested in you. Really, they're trying to get you to buy them drinks, which their drinks are more expensive than your drinks. You might be getting whatever drink, and it might be $5. But then the drink that they're going to get that they want you to buy for them is like $12 for whatever crazy reason. So they're trying to get you to spend money on them, and that's why they're called juicy girls, because of the drinks, and they're trying to get you to buy drinks for them. And that's pretty much their job, is to try to make you feel like they're interested in you, and you'll buy them drinks and spend a bunch of money at the bar in the club, but they're not eating alcoholic drinks because they don't want these girls getting wasted, and then they can't, kind of mingle with the other people in that place. But I don't know if I'll really do a dedicated video on that kind of a thing. Let me see if there's one more older one that I missed, maybe that I can reference. If I can find one anyways. Let's see, maybe we'll reference this one. Man, I'm pissed off and desperate. I can't seem to pass that ASVAB test they give at the recruiter's office. I just recently saw that actually on the Army website, they have practice ASVABs available. I definitely recommend for anybody maybe to check that out. I think it's like army.com or army.mil/ASVAB, and they have some practice ASVABs. I just recently saw they have this. So go check that out if you're having problems with that. I eventually need to work on making on the ChristopherChaos.com website some practice ASVAB kind of like little questionnaires that I work on, but it's really tough to kind of build that out, and I haven't even started yet, but eventually I'd like to have that on there and have that available to people. Let's do one more question of one of the newer ones. Let's Let's see. We'll do this one. This is like an old school kind of question. Maybe we'll do this one and maybe one more or something like that. Chris, does the Army use motorcycles? If so, can an 88 Mike be able to ride them? They do not have Army motorcycles anymore. There used to be a thing way, way back in the day where they did have motorcycles and you get licensed on it and everything like that. I'm not 100% sure who rode the motorcycles, but the Army does not currently have motorcycles anymore. There's no real use for them. They have some ATVs, like the Special Forces have like cool like four-wheelers and dune buggies and awesome stuff like that, but motorcycle-wise, no. Like we're talking about two wheels, no. But they do have four-wheel off-road vehicles, like quad runners and stuff that the Special Forces have that I've seen and everything like that. Over at like on Fort Carson, we have 10th Special Forces group, and I've seen their four-wheelers and dune buggies and their awesome, cool toys that they have. But other than that, that's about it. What do your parents say about joining the Army? They're for it. My dad was supportive of it and everything like that. There was no wars going on. This was pre 9/11, just a few years before that and everything like that. So it didn't seem as dangerous as it is nowadays. So it wasn't too bad. Do I miss anything about the Army life? Some of the people, maybe. Otherwise, not a whole lot, really. I mean, I still get to interact with a lot of cool people now working with the Army as an instructor, but I don't think there's anything really that really stands out. All right, let's see, maybe one more. Army still has some horses, they do, the Cav, and like the Mounted Color Guard. Look for a good question, let's see here. Do you like MREs? They're okay. I have some back here, down there on the ground. Maybe that'll be a part of a giveaway. Maybe at some point in time. I don't know. We'll kind of see. I think that'll do it though. I think that'll end the live stream. Let me know if you guys are interested in a giveaway. Maybe we'll try something out. Do some kind of small giveaway. I don't know what for. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to think of something. Who thinks they would participate? I don't know what the terms, like when I did the giveaway before, I think I had one where it was just basically going to be a drawing, so you just had to enter in the drawing and I was going to randomly draw someone, and then another one was going to be where you had to share one of my videos and then tag me in it, so I knew you shared one, and then one of those people were going to win a video, win something. But I don't know. We'll think of something. Maybe we'll do a giveaway either on the YouTube channel, on maybe on Instagram. I don't know. But maybe at some point in time we'll do a small giveaway and try it out. And then if that giveaway does well, maybe we'll do something cooler. Maybe I'll give away that ammo can finally, right? Maybe we'll do something cool like that, put some cool stuff inside of it, and do a good giveaway after that one's over and fill it with some awesome stuff. So I think that's going to do it for the live stream. Probably the next video on the channel will probably be on Wednesday, I would imagine. If you want to watch me play some video games, you can do that over on the Chaos Plays Games YouTube channel. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be the idea anyways. So tune into that over on that channel. We'll try that out and kind of try to get that channel going with it as a gaming channel. If you're only interested in occasionally gaming stuff, well then it's next Saturday. We'll probably do one again on here as well. Otherwise, I think that's going to kind of do it for the live stream. If you didn't already, what did we get to likes? We got 43? Yeah, not so great. I mean, that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good still. But we didn't get to the 100. I was hoping for 100, but I won't be too picky. All right. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you didn't already, hit that like button. If you have some more questions that I didn't get to that you feel are very important, you know who I'm talking about, then you can hit me up on Instagram. Just do a search for Christopher Chaos on Instagram. That Chris Chaos is my Instagram handle. Come back to this video later. And you can probably, leave a comment on there, and I can probably see it a little bit easier sometimes. Either way, if you had an important question, hit me up. I'll do my best to try to answer it if I can or whatever. So that's going to do it for the live stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. You guys rock. You're awesome. I will see you guys next time. See ya.